kicking you out of the program. Sexless marriage, the #1 relationship hack. Answer the question, the impact that impacts trust. Getting your partner on board. Kicking you out of the program. Welcome to the Morrow Marriage Podcast, guys. And I know you thought I was going to say of the house.
I definitely thought that.
Everybody did. I'm talking about the program. This is really important because I know we have a new listener and we kicked him out of the program. I did. And the reason is very simple. If you think about last episode where I said focus on the positive, okay? If you are in such negative sentiment override, for example, if you get on the phone call and just bitched about your wife the whole time, I'd actually end the call and I'd say, this isn't gonna work.
We wouldn't have to kick you out of the program. You never would have been invited in.
Yeah, now I will always try to do a little mindset switch on you. I did this for one of our team members. Really felt, we'll talk about you guys, not everybody, that'd be impossible, but who we think we really could help who didn't join. And there was a man that he just really hurt. He was really hurt of some things that his wife said. And so I'll always try a mindset switch. So I'm just gonna give that to you guys today, just in case it will help you. But it works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. And I'll explain that after with the help of Kathryn. But essentially, he's really upset about the thing she said. I don't even need to know what she said. You have a small penis. You've never known how to use it. You're just not manly. You're actually a woman. I don't really care, okay? Like, the things that she's saying or he's saying when you're angry are not always true. In fact, a lot of times, they're not even close to being true, okay? In fact, what you have to realize is something even more powerful than that, and that is that if you are on the phone or you're listening to this podcast or you're watching our content as a loyal follower, am I you're too warm for you today?
Yes, warm. It's warm in here.
So you got that right. So here's the thing. If you're trying to learn and trying to grow, okay, then it will hurt when they say these kinds of things. You're on this call to grow. And if you think if you know or realize everything led up to the thing that was said, the action, the affair, the divorce papers, everything led up to it. And if you need to grow, that's why you're listening to this show, okay? Then what would make you think that your partner doesn't have to grow? Like, why would you hold that against them? No, fine, you know what? I don't want to be with her anymore. She said these terrible things. She did this terrible thing. If you just recognize you're listening to this show because you want to be better, how can you judge them for what they said or what they do? They need to be better, right?
Mm-hmm. You grow together.
Well, maybe, but in this case, he's got to grow first. Mm-hmm. She's clearly the one who's not thinking positively.
When I say grow together, though, oftentimes, 90% of the time in our programs, when one person comes in and grows, this is why our business model is the way that it is. Women over here, men over here. Usually we don't get the husband and wife at the same time. So let's say we get a woman in the women's program and she starts to level up. She starts to be more compassionate. She learns how to show empathy properly in a way that her husband can understand it. She learns to control her emotions and her reactions. As she starts to do that, the goal is that not to force her husband, not to correct her husband, but her husband will be influenced because as she grows, she's either going to outgrow him or he's going to grow with her.
Right.
That is why the program works. So you have to grow together. Only one of you needs to make that first move and start the growth process. But when you're in the growth process, there's no sense to point your finger at your spouse. Mm-hmm. If you're growing, you're like, I'm going to do these things. I'm going to do better. By the way, you better do better too. No, just start growing and they will grow with you. And if they don't, that's on them. Then you outgrow them. And then you have your answer for what you need to do. Most of the time, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's just really true. You know, if you think about a lot of the lessons that we teach you, it kind of always is the same philosophy. How can I do better? How can I get to know myself right now? I hired a new coach for emotional intelligence is what it's called, okay? I got lucky. I was introduced to someone. I had a wonderful conversation with Kathryn about this. And then he just dropped the words emotional intelligence that he was doing a TED Talk. And I was like, dude, I want to hire you, right? And like, why? Because I said to Kathryn, I want to cross the finish line, you know? And the thing about growth is you're never done. So if you're starting your journey already like focused on what it is that you like that you require, so to speak. And by the way, guilty, been there, okay? Like, and I mean required of your partner, okay? Because regardless of what Kathryn could say or do that could influence positive, like you guys know, she's like the one who supercharged my growth, right? Well, it's like now she could hold me more accountable now, right? So that's another level. So there's always a fucking ladder we're climbing, you guys. And regardless, when you're starting in the beginning, it will feel like you have to put it on them. It's not really fair. This is what they said. This is what they did. But somebody has to fucking start. You know, somebody has to start, right?
And one of you is going to be worse than the other. So if you're hearing this and you're feeling the desire to blame your partner, you might be worse. Your partner might be worse. But whoever's listening, I want you to put the focus on yourself and think about those things that you could do and things that you could change. You know, you guys have probably heard me say this before. Like, I forever told Cass it was his fault. And deep down, I do believe that he was a bigger part of the problem. But the moment that I start telling him that he's the whole problem, then it takes the emphasis completely off of me. And then what's going to happen? I just described it to you guys. He's going to grow because I'm holding him accountable. And then he's going to outgrow me. I don't want him to outgrow me. I want to grow with him. I want to be able to stand next to him as he grows. Because it pulls me with him.
Now, let me tie it back to the start of the show here. So when we refunded this guy, is because the first call, I was able to switch his mindset, okay? And then what happened was he treated our team very poorly, in demand of speaking to, I believe, me or Kathryn. Like, screamed at a girl that we had to have a man his role isn't even what this woman's job was, who stepped in and swooped in. He didn't even ask us. He just went in and helped her and covered it, got this guy with whatever he needed. And then this guy's like asking in our app and looking at it. Like, we ended up having just to delete him and call him and say, you can't be in the program. If you're starting this thing off where you're just angry and entitled and so fucking blamey, then I can't help you. You're not ready, you know? And I thought about it. He gave some nasty voice notes to me, man. But you know what? I thought about it, and this is what I never told you what I did. I ended up like just reaching out, saying after the weekend and being like, you know, hey, dude, I get it. And I just want you to be ready. I know you want to help. He had also sent another voice note saying, you know, he was moving, he was working to figure out how to be ready or something like that. I said, that's what I want. I want you to be ready, because I don't want to bring you into my program if you're not ready. That's actually bad for you and for us. Your energy could hurt you more. Your energy could hurt our clients more. Your energy certainly will hurt our success rate, right?
And has already hurt our staff.
Yes, and it hurt our staff, right? And that's how you're probably being 10 times worse with her. I'm not even going to judge what the things are that you've done. I just know that you're not ready yet. And so when I refund you and you're really angry after that, really angry, I get it, because now you feel attacked. Now you feel abandoned. All the same shit you felt from the childhood, from the relationship. I get all of that. You must be ready with a different mindset, because if that's how you're starting, then you're just going to hurt everyone around you. I know, because I was that guy, always thinking I was ready, always thinking it wasn't my fault, always had a way to justify why the thing that I did wasn't as bad. And fuck, guys, the reason I'm looking at emotional intelligence, because still, if we get into an issue or discussion, it doesn't have to always be bad, but I still do that in my brain. I need to go further, right? So I just want to give you guys some encouragement. As long as you know, right, and you do take steps to move forward. I gave him, I sent him a book, but I understand why you wouldn't want to send me your address. I gave him the podcast. He didn't know about it yet. I said, I really want you to get ready. Like, he was so grateful after that. He was like telling me all these steps that he's going to do to try to get into the program. Good. Because guys, we have a tendency, when I say the expression cross the finish line, it's easy when you want more to kind of take your foot off the gas a little bit, right? Kind of excuse yourself for hitting the brakes a little bit. Kind of easy to blame your partner for whatever. So this is what I want to leave you with today, unless you have anything else. I want you to decide I'm ready, and then back that up with the actions. I get that it's hard. I get it. In this man's case, want to be resentful, negative, blamey, bitchy, mean is the word I used when I actually spoke to him. I said, you're actually just mean. I paused for a second before I said it. You're actually just, because I didn't really know how to tell a grown man you're just mean. That's something that, you know, you've said to me. But like, actually, I think I've said it to you more.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure you brought that word into our marriage. I hadn't used it since I was like 12. Yeah. And then I got married, and all of a sudden I was being told I was mean.
But yeah, see, this was outside looking in on this man, okay?
So he's grown. He had to hesitate when he called another person mean.
Yeah, because you got to be careful. Thank you, baby. You got to be careful. So anyways, I hope you're listening to this episode, dude. You know who you are, and it's definitely not your story. Man, some of the shit that you admitted to was phenomenal. I think that's great. Some of the worst cases that we have, they're the challenging ones. And I want to help you. it's not that I can't. You know, I think you got that vibe, you know, which I think I flipped with our voice notes back and forth, but we just need you to be ready. You know, got to be ready. Certainly can't treat the people that are going to help you out of this fucking mess poorly.
No.
How are we going to pour into you? So, yeah, I had to refund you, but I'm looking forward to hearing back from you. Oh, and I did make a mistake, which I don't think I told you. I ended up leaving him a voice note when he gave me this nasty message. I said something back, and I was very calm, but at the very end I said, and by the way, just lose my number.
You did tell me that.
Yeah, I did, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I ended up apologizing for that too, and that meant a lot to him, you know? Sometimes I think that the people that are hurting the most just need to know that we're not perfect either, you know?
What?
Well, you are.
Oh,
okay. That's why it's so surprising.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.